Hey strength nuggets! If you're training in a very focused manner and your program is broken down into phases, you can start to think about your nutrition the same way, breaking it into phases that align with the work that you're doing. Just as cutting and bulking require two different approaches in regard to training and nutrition, we can start to think about sports performance the same way. A sprinter would very likely not train like a powerlifter. I am making this video specifically to talk about a few things that you can take into consideration in order to optimize your lifts like crazy if you're a competitive powerlifter or a strength athlete. This video also includes supplement recommendations, and I will super duper do my best to keep this video as short as possible because there's so much good information. Disclaimer time, this video is by no means meant to be medical advice. Be sure to check with your doctor or physician before starting any new training program or nutrition program. You should immediately discontinue participation in a program if you are feeling unwell. So let's get down to the dirty deets. The objective behind powerlifting, other than being strong as, is to be able to progress in an upward manner, the development of lean muscle mass, which leads to the strength gains. Plus, it would be really freaking awesome to break all of your records on meet day. That is an ideal situation. On the other hand, we also need to consider what weight class we're going to be entering. This not only keeps it competitive, but it keeps it fair. Would you really want to lift against somebody who's 100 pounds heavier than you? They might have the advantage. The first thing that I would recommend is when you're just starting out, or if you're getting back into it after a while, is to check out the weight classes that are available according to the organization that you're going to be lifting with. These are usually available on the website. You can find them any number of ways. This will start to give you a really good idea of how you should be setting up your nutrition. Feel free to skip ahead. I'm about to explain weight classes and what makes you more competitive within your specific weight class. I've put the timestamp down below, so feel free to click that if you want to jump straight to nutrition and supplementation. Let's say you're competing in 12 weeks. If you decide to enter a weight class that is more than 10 pounds lighter than you are now, it's only going to mean that you have to create a caloric deficit in order to get there. Or you would end up having to do a water cut, which I particularly don't recommend. It's not always the most predictable method to lose the weight. That's a different video altogether, which I'll definitely address. It can be a very useful tool, but it shouldn't be what you're relying on in order to make a weight class. A caloric deficit could also mean for some a significant loss in strength. Of course, this is all dependent on the amount of calories that you end up cutting and the length of time that you cut those calories for. So if you're cutting a lot of calories over a long period of time, chances are you may stop making significant strength gains, and you could even start to lose some of the gains you've already gotten. Gains you've gained. If you're a newbie powerlifter and you're not yet gunning for national qualification, say maybe it's your first meet, maybe it's your second meet, it's best to stay at the weight you're at now and just enter a weight class just above your current weight. This will take the pressure off of you for what's gonna happen on meet day as far as weighing in. All you have to do is show up and lift heavy. Trust me, it's a lot more enjoyable if you're not worried about cutting weight for your first or second meets. For example, if you weigh 145 pounds and there is a 132 weight class and a 148 weight class, go with the 148. As you get further along and you have more meets under your belt, get it? You can start to think about the things that make you more competitive within your weight class. In powerlifting, you are scored on your total. That is the total of the heaviest lifts that got the green light for your squat, your bench, and your deadlift. The big three. If you're at the higher end of your weight class with a lower body fat percentage, you will likely be a lot more capable of a larger total than somebody who shares your same weight but has a higher body fat percentage, because you simply have more muscle on your frame. Let's create an example. There's a 185 weight class and a 200 weight class. Aristotle and Hercules have 6 weeks left until their meet. Hercules weighs 202 pounds and is 15% body fat. Aristotle weighs 191 pounds and is 29% body fat. With just looking at the numbers, who has the strength advantage? Hercules does. A lower body fat percentage and a higher weight means that he has more muscle on his frame, and he only has 2 pounds to lose within the next 6 weeks. Once he does that, he'll be on the higher end of the 185 weight class. It is just an example, and of course it doesn't take other things into consideration like recovery, nutrition, or lifestyle choices. I'm not saying that people who have more muscle mass than you are stronger than you. Maybe they didn't get enough sleep the night before. There are so many factors, but this is just something that you consider in order to think of yourself a little bit more competitively within your weight class. Bottom line, it may not be best to go crazy cutting calories or creating a caloric deficit in order to make your weight class. Remember, you entered powerlifting to be as strong as but we also don't want to eat like beasts. Let's talk about the nutrition. I will not bore you with making considerations for how you're eating right now. I do one-to-one nutrition coaching, so if you need to maximize the hell out of your strength gains while minimizing your body fat gains, definitely use the contact information in the box below and we'll chat. When it comes to performance, nutrient timing is one of the most overlooked aspects that can make the biggest difference for lifters. Timing, in this instance, simply refers to how you're allocating nutrients around training times, with nutrients referring to carbs, proteins, even additional amino acids or fats. It could also mean caffeine. In this video, I'm not going to get into any pre-workout. We're just focusing on supplementation regarding nutrition. The number one thing that we need to consider when we're trying to make strength gains is, are we personally eating enough? If you're gassing out each week, you may not be eating enough quality calories for your body. For most, implementing a regimented intra, and post-workout nutrition routine will not only add the calories that you likely need, but will also add the targeted nutrition necessary to develop strength. So keep in mind, I am not saying that these recommendations work for every single person. These are things to consider. And I am also assuming in this video that you are not super low carb keto. I am assuming in this video that your primary fuel source is carbohydrate. And even if you are keto, you could have a carb threshold that allows you to supplement in this manner. If you want to know more about what that means, my keto series is coming up for the month of September, so be sure to subscribe to my channel to stay tuned for that. Quick note, this video is not sponsored by any of the following supplement companies that I'm going to be talking about or recommending. But hey guys, if you want to sponsor me, hey MAN. Pre-workout, carbs. Taking in a slow digesting carb and protein source will keep blood sugar levels stable throughout training. An example of this would be lean meat or lean fish and a sweet potato or quinoa. Eating approximately an hour before you lift ensures that the stomach has a chance to empty out just a little bit so you can lift all the weights. Deadlifts suck when you have indigestion. Ugh. Eating an hour to an hour and a half prior to training ensures that by the time you train, your body should have glycogen available from the carbs for fuel and amino acids from the protein to protect against muscle breakdown while you're working out. Intra or during your workout is a good time to consider targeted nutrition. This means a good combination of carbohydrates and protein. The carbs here should be in a faster digesting form because the intention is to provide instant energy. And the added protein or BCAAs, branched chain amino acids, protect against the further destruction of muscle tissue while you're training. Our household here is a 2-to-1 household. 2-to-1 refers to the ratio of carbs to protein. 1 scoop of something like a Karbolic or a Karbolyn will give you 50 grams of sugarless, fiberless carbohydrates. A very basic protein isolate like the Dymatize Iso 100 will give you 25 grams of protein isolate and nothing else in 1 scoop. This combination makes the perfect 2-to-1 mix. 2-part carb, 1-part protein. Me as a female, I have these servings of each and I still end up with a 2-to-1. The carbs usually come unflavored. I'm sure you can get them flavored. We've always gotten unflavored, but the strawberry flavor for the protein will make it less gag worthy between sets, I guess. It's non-creamy, so it's fine. I also throw a very basic creatine monohydrate into my intra-workout mix. 5 grams creatine monohydrate is usually all you need. You don't need to do loading like people used to say you had to do in the past. Just getting it any time of day could definitely make a big difference with your recovery and your performance during your workout. So post-workout nutrition, it may be good for you to get some slow digesting carbohydrates like some Ezekiel bread, some sweet potatoes. Again, sweet potatoes are just so good. They're so good for the immune system too. And make sure you're getting in tons of veggies. You need all the vitamins and minerals you can get out of whole food sources, especially while you're doing something as taxing on your central nervous system as powerlifting. We want to maximize our recovery as much as possible. Protein powder is not necessary, but not getting enough protein can be an absolute hindrance to you developing the strength that you want to develop. An awesome quick protein that we use is the Iso protein line from MAN. They come in so many fun, amazing flavors. MAN. I got you, boo. Hydration during the day is vital, so adding in something like a sugar-free electrolyte tab, absolutely love the Nuun tabs, or even adding in additional amino acids to your water can be extremely helpful for hydration. And the MAN aminos are my super fave. So that's my video on supplementation for strength sports, and if you watched it, how to be most competitive within your own weight class. Click that thumbs up button, subscribe to my channel, and share this video 14 times. I am helping you make the best choices possible when it comes to you actually reaching your body goals. I would love to talk just you and me about the goals that you do have, so use the description box below to get my contact information. Contact me. We'll talk. Subscribe to my channel for more videos on how you can be just totally badass with nutrition. As always, I thank you so much for watching.